Welcome back to the Mountain Man Medical YouTube channel. Thanks for hanging out. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some video footage of Knox County deputies involved in a dog attack. The dog attacked one of the officers and her partner shot her instead of the dog. I think there's some lessons that we can learn from this, so hang in. We're going to talk about that next. All right, guys, before we get into this video, do me a huge favor and go down below, hit that like and subscribe button. That's a free way to support me here at the channel. So if you've learned something, that's a great way to help me out. And then head over to mountainmanmedical.com and check out our Yellowstone and Wind River trauma kits. Let's get into this video. July 5th of this year, Knox County deputies were responding to a call out at a residence in that area, and Deputy Lydia Driver was there with her partner, Jordan Hurst. That's when Lydia Driver was attacked by the residence's Pitbulls, who the owners said was friendly. The dog was aggressive and attacked Deputy Driver, and her partner tried to shoot the dog and missed and struck her instead. The video starts off pretty normal, and let's check that out. Let's see how it goes. It just starts off like a normal day, and then things start to get a little bit crazy.
Oh gosh. Will you stop it? Will you stop it?
Hey Dwayne, is this dog friendly? Okay. What I need you to do is put him up for me, okay? Okay. Can you put him up? I know he's probably friendly, but I know we're strangers and...
All right, here we see things are normal. Everything is as normal. That's how all emergencies start off. You don't expect things to get kind of crazy, and then all of a sudden they do. So this is just a routine stop for these officers, and the dog decides to get loose. Let's check out what happens.
Charlie 21.
Hey! What's your dog?
Man, what's going on? Yeah, 647 on Brickyard. Get an officer's been attacked by a Pitbull.
All right, now this next clip is going to be from the viewpoint of Officer Hurst. This is the partner of Officer Driver, the one who was shot. So he sees his partner getting attacked. Let's see what his point of view looks like.
Are you going in?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Watch out. Are you okay?
No, you shot me!
Oh, God. Are you okay?
No, man!
Oh, fuck.
Ah!
Echo 7, 1081.
Oh my god!
All right, so that looked pretty bad. Obviously, from his point of view, that dog was attacking her and he was worried for her. This is a lot of why they teach officers to make contact shots, so that if you are wrestling something that is in the area of your partner, you don't want to risk wounding your partner. So contact shots is something that they teach pretty often in the police department. Now, you also might want to just try to go with a less than lethal item. Maybe if it was me, maybe I'd start trying to put the boots to the dog, try to drive it off a little bit so that I could get a safer shot maybe. I'm just trying to think through the situation, but really what we're here for is the medical aspect of things, but sometimes you have to handle the emergency situation first for preventative medicine's sake. So if I need to drive that threat away to stop it from attacking my friend, my family member, or my partner, then I'm going to try to use violence to make that happen, so then I can start taking and using good medical skills to make the situation better. So let's take a look at the medical skills here in just a moment. But first, I want to highlight how important it is to be conscientious of working in a dark environment. Just like these officers are, this is a low light environment. They're going to have to be doing a lot of this stuff with flashlights, and there's a good chance you can miss things. So making sure that you're getting eyes on the wound and you're double checking all of your interventions are going to be very important. Try to get as much light out there as possible so that you can see what you're doing.
No, 1081. Echo 7, 1081.
Ah!
Copy 1081, dispatch 1 clear, dispatch 1 clear.
Shit! Oh fuck! I hit her! I hit her! Help me. It's all right. Here. You calm down. I got it.
No.
I got it. You're all right. Talk to me.
What?
Talk to me. Is this the leg? The one leg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next station, Robbie.
I did. I'll be in rail. Charlie 5, I copy as well. I'll enter out also.
The other thing that we can see here is that Officer Hurst is clearly panicked, and for good reason. He just shot his partner, and that's a pretty bad thing. He's worried that maybe he's going to kill her. But we can see how that his panic is making the situation worse. And you might be able to say, well, I can't really control that panic. And you might absolutely be right. Officer Hurst is a veteran of the police department. During the research of this video, I found out that earlier in the year he had, or in 2020, I believe, he had killed a man who had stabbed 3 women to death at a Pilot gas station. So this is a veteran officer. He's been around the block before, and he was just very terrified that he had just hurt and killed his partner. Now, Officer Driver is doing a good job of remaining pretty calm for the most part. Even though she was shot, she seems to be in fairly good spirits, and she doesn't seem to be throwing any blame or any shade, which is awesome because that doesn't really help the situation. But we have a lot of help here. Obviously, we've got another officer that's coming in here to try to help and take over because Officer Hurst is a little too panicked. We need to try to remember that in this situation, if we're not making things any better because we're so panicked, we can make the situation worse. In his panic, he's not going to get that tourniquet applied quite as properly as he might if he was completely calm. So he might need to just pass that off to somebody else and go over and sit down and take a couple of deep breaths. The other thing that we need to keep in mind here is that this is still a hostile environment. We don't really know where that dog is. The dog ran away, but we don't know if that dog is going to come back. So making sure that we set up some security around in that area, or maybe drag our casualty to a safer location, like into the house where we can close and lock a door and keep the dog out so that we can actually take care of our casualty. We want to try to make the situation as calm and cool and safe as we possibly can before we start getting into some of the more heavier bleeding control techniques. So the first thing that we're going to do is just apply that tourniquet high and tight if we're in a hostile environment. If we know where that dog is, or if I've got a pretty good security of, well-armed men around me and I feel pretty reasonably safe to take care of that casualty, I want to expose that wound. We don't know exactly where Officer Driver was shot, so we need to take a look at that to make sure that our tourniquet is actually going to work. If it's too high up on the casualty, then we're going to need to take care of that with wound packing. So that tourniquet won't even work. We can apply that tourniquet, think that we've saved Officer Driver's life. We're waiting for the ambulance to show up and she expires on us because we haven't taken the time to actually look at the wound to make sure that what we're doing is actually working.
The tourniquet, okay? The tourniquet hurting yet?
No.
Keep twisting.
Charlie 21.
Be advised we down
Officer down, gunshot wound to the side.
Officer down,
Oh.
control the device.
We got to get a 47.
Here it comes.
7, we need a 47. Hurry it up. Are you okay?
Charlie, wait, we started 47.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you okay?
Just keep her talking. Keep her talking, Jordan.
Lady, you're going to be fine. You're going to have a hell of a story here.
No.
Just keep her talking, Jordan.
Yeah.
Keep her talking, lady.
Fucking
Hey, Lydia. Whole lot more exciting than leads, huh?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're going to be good. You're going to be okay. You're going to be just fine.
Everything's so hot.
Yeah, it's hot as hell out here.
No, my leg.
I don't know.
Hey, you got the dog up there.
What's that location?
Hey, are you okay? Lydia, talk to me.
3245, reconfirm.
Watch that, Jordan. Watch your leg.
Fucking A. Huh? The dog was getting her bad. Are you okay? Lydia, stay with me.
I am
They are still applying this tourniquet. This is, if she was bleeding to death, this is a pretty rough time. They need to get that tourniquet applied pretty quickly. But it doesn't look like she's bleeding that badly. Just by what I see, the blood on her pants, it doesn't seem like it's gushing out or that kind of thing. Just start at the very pant cuff, all the way at the bottom. Just zip those pants all the way up to the top with your trauma shears and they'll come right off. But we want to get eyes on the wound and we want to get this tourniquet applied as quickly as possible. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but they seem to be screwing around with this tourniquet for way too long. So if she really, really needed that tourniquet, she might be in a pretty bad position at this point for how long it's taking them to get that applied. So practice your tourniquets. It's going to help you practice applying them to yourselves, but definitely practice on your teammates, your family members, friends, whatever you need to. All right, guys, I just thought this was an interesting video and I thought we could learn some things from it. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit a like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, and head over to Mountain Man Medical. Check out our Yellowstone and Wind River trauma kits and be ready for whatever the mountain throws at you. I'll catch you guys in the next one.